Happy 4th of July. Today I wanted to record a video specifically for grandparents, how grandparents can connect with the parents and how to connect with your grandchild who's on the spectrum. When you first get the diagnosis, it's hard to really come to grips with what this means. Does it mean I'll never get to play with them? Does it mean that that they're never gonna look at me, they're never gonna smile at me, I can never get them to laugh, I won't be able to take them out to parks or do things with them. So I actually sat down with my father and spent some time asking him some questions and doing a nice little interview. It's really therapeutic even for me. I also asked my wife, my close friend Isaac, for some different questions.
You know when a joke becomes a dad joke? When the punchline becomes apparent. Well, it's so bad that the fire truck is behind.
So I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know what you think. Hey Dad, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Can I put you in my vlog today? About being a grandparent with a special needs grandson?
Sure.
Cool. How was it when you very first found out?
We first found out was no surprise. Grandma and I both suspected that there was something not because he was just a slow learner, but he wouldn't make eye contact with us. That seemed odd. I think I was more relieved. I thought that whether he's perfect in every way or he has some stuff that's special about him, we still love him. I know that you were kind of upset, to say the least, and hurt and dealing with the devastation, but the biggest deal was, hey, he's alive, he's healthy. At least you know now what you're dealing with. And so you can start dealing with it from a standpoint of he's got to be dealt with in a certain way, instead of just going, I wonder when he's going to start learning. We didn't want to be the ones to say, hey, something's wrong with your kid. You should have him this, because we felt like thought we were pushing outside our boundaries. As long as you don't say it out loud, it's not real. But the reality is it's real.
Or the not wanting to put a label and feel like you're damning them or condemning them to a certain future because of that label or something.
Correct.
Isaac was asking, what's the difference? What are the differences you've seen from when Rowan was born, then when Nolan was born, then when the diagnosis came, and when we got back into church? And
as soon as you have a child, that's when you have to force yourself to stop being selfish in your life. And I think we saw that. I mean, we absolutely did see that. She can't survive without me. I'm responsible. And we saw you grow up. I think you guys getting more involved in the church gave you peace of mind. It seems that you deal with the challenges of having the challenges of marriage is one thing. Challenges of having is being married with an autistic son is another. I think you guys handle it. You know, I always say, don't ask God to lighten your load, ask him to strengthen your back. And I think having a spiritual connection, you know, having a relationship with God has strengthened your back for you and Riz to handle the daily challenges, the daily stresses of dealing with unexpected things that you're not sure how long it's going to take for him to start talking and for him to stop having the occasional tantrum. And I think you've seen huge improvements. It's been about 18 months since diagnosis. Mm-hmm. And I think you've seen it's a small step for most kids, but it's a giant leap from where he was. I think the progress helps you guys see that progress will happen. And I think being grounded in the church, I think it gives you someone to lean on. It'll happen in God's time. Not necessarily, it might not be in your time. It's in God's time, and God's working on Nolan.
What advice would you give to those to grandparents who are trying to encourage their kids, or what have you done to encourage me when it's tough?
Don't give up. It's hard to be a parent. It's hard to be a parent of any kid. Your mom always says that our job is not to be friends with our kids, it's to make them into responsible adults. Your job is to make Nolan strong, and Nolan is gonna have his tantrums, and he doesn't know what's best for him, but at some point he needs to learn he can whine and cry and have a tantrum. You guys aren't going to bend, and you just got to tough through it. I know it kills you to listen to him cry, and it kills you to make him do some things. I know it kills Riz when she probably watches it when he's in classes and has to keep herself from going in and grabbing him and hugging him when he's upset. It's not what feels good today. It's what's the best thing for long term. What have I done to encourage you? Just tell you it's going to be okay. And there's really, what can I do? Hey, occasionally, hey, drop the kids off with us. We'll take them for a weekend so you guys can have a break. The biggest thing is just encourage you, tell you that we're proud of you, tell you that it's going to be okay, tell you that we love Nolan and we love you and we love Rowan and we love Riz and we're behind you. I think that's all you can do as a grandparent is support your kids. Just like Nolan needs you to just don't give up on him, and you just need to know that you're not alone.
Is there anything that you do with Nolan to help communicate without words?
Just touch. He's a cuddly little teddy bear. I think coming on to him, you got to kind of go at his pace. Hey, how are you, Nolan? Give him a little touch, a little something, and then I'll just go sit down. And the next thing you know, he's sitting right next to me, real close. And I just try to be involved with him, and whether it's stacking blocks together or arm wrestling with him or just putting his little toys together or reading stuff with him. The more time we spend with him, the more we learn to interact. It's a little different than with Rowan because we can have a conversation with her. It's equally as special. It's just different.
Has anything changed in how you view other kids that you see with special needs? Since
Nolan's been diagnosed, I notice how many other people have special needs, and some people you wouldn't think are special needs kids that that find out that one of our friends' daughter is just graduated high school and was diagnosed as being on the spectrum. She's living a fairly normal life and just has some little extra needs, but what kid doesn't? That kind of stuff gives you hope. It makes you optimistic. The things that Nolan is lacking, we probably have no idea how smart he is in certain areas and all the stuff he's observing and don't know what kind of miracle he's going to turn out to be. I'm really anxious to have conversations with my grandson as he learns to communicate better and find out just where. I think there's something special inside this kid. We have a little longer wait to find out what it is.
How has Nolan's autism impacted how you interact with Rowan?
I don't know that it changes much. It's clear that she needs her time with her parents, and I think she needs her time with her grandparents away, because she knows that because Nolan has special needs that he requires more attention than she does, and we certainly don't want her to think that because she isn't getting that much attention that she's any less special than Nolan is. Rowan is learning to be more conscious of her brother's needs, and at the same time we're also conscious of her needs to be herself. So I know you guys take time for that.
Last question. What do you hope for Nolan and for me and Riz?
What do I hope for? I hope that Nolan makes giant strides, stay strong together like you are, and remember that things are never as bad as they seem and things are never as good as they seem. So when he makes some big giant leap, don't get too high, because he still has struggles ahead of him, and when he has a bad day, don't get too low, because things are never as bad as they seem. Things are never as good as they seem. You have a foundation of a great life going, and you'll probably never stop paying for it. There's always a price to pay, and it never really stops. It's like raising kids. It's not an 18-year responsibility. It's a lifetime responsibility, and you never stop being a parent. You never stop worrying about your kids. You never stop giving them advice. Until you've lived my years, you won't know what I know, and and you know, it's my job to give you advice when I see it. Sometimes you don't want it, and I try to be respectful of that. I want you guys to be happy and good people and responsible. Pay your bills, take care of your needs, and rely on each other, because someday Mom and I won't be here to be there for you, and you'll start thinking like we do and having to worry about how Rowan and Nolan are going to be when you're not around. And the circle of life goes round and round. It'll all be good.
Thanks, Dad.
Thank you. Oh, I love you.
Love you.
If you have any questions, please leave a comment. Please like, please share this video. We're here to help inspire and encourage you through this journey of raising a child with autism. I might need to figure out a better intro. You guys got any comments for me? Any suggestions?